Good evening, beloveds. I always feel like Dracula when I do that. Um, so I was working on moving these videos to the YouTube channel so that I could put them in playlists, and that way people could, keep track of them by day, by month and day. And as I'm working on it, I realized that November 28th is missing. Uh, and one of two things could have happened. It was the end of the Renaissance Festival. I could simply have forgotten to do it. Except for the fact that when I glanced at the reading, I remember the reading. Oh, hello, sugar, with your glorious sabers. So most likely what happened is it's one of those times when Facebook glitched and ate my video, which means I get to do a makeup video. So while the date does say November 28th, it's actually April. And it is, like I said, evening. I'm not doing it at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's actually 10 o'clock at night. So, uh, but let's do this. And this is just so that I have the entire book on there. All right. So November 28th in the book Beyond Appearances is the title is Negativity. Go thy way, and thou shalt and as thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. And that is Matthew 8:13. And then the second quote is, people automatically and according to law attract to themselves a correspondence of their inner mental attitudes. And that is Science of Mind, page 322. Alan was asked to make a business presentation to a group of people who would get credit for attending his one-day class. He had never done such a thing before, so he felt utterly overwhelmed when 100 people showed up. All during the presentation, he focused on the people in the audience who looked bored. Alan chastised himself for not doing a better job. He felt like a failure. All that night, he was miserable. The next day, he was slated to repeat his presentation to another group of people. Suddenly, Alan remembered how important it was to adopt a positive approach to life. So he sought out the faces of those people who looked happy. He found himself relaxing more and more as the day progressed. He actually began to enjoy the presentation. At the end of the day, he was literally swamped by people who wanted more information. His brochures were gone in a matter of minutes. Where did the difference lie between the two presentations? It lay within Alan, whose change of attitude created a change in his audience. The world faithfully mirrored back to him the state of his inner attitude. Today, I choose to focus entirely on the positive. I expect only positive things to happen, and I keep my thoughts turned towards positive ideas. Today, I know the joy of living positively. And that is RJ. That is Rainbow Johnson. Ugh. And that is pretty much, as a public speaker, you can totally get caught up in your audience. And if you are focused on the faces that look bored and unhappy, then, and if you focus on the faces that look like they're paying attention and enjoying, or what you can do is just be really interested in what you're presenting. That is the grace of when as ministers, what Jesse is wonderful at doing when he gives in any of us the opportunity to do a Sunday. He lets us do our own. He lets us choose our own topic. We don't have to. Now, we always ask, hey, what's the theme? What are you talking about? And we try and fit into his theme, but he doesn't require that of us. He lets us talk about whatever we want. So whatever is burning a hole in our heart, that's what we get to talk about. And that's part of it. It's like when you're really interested in your subject, it shows. I love having those days at work when people come in and I'm really on fire, and people tell me as they're leaving, you know, it's great that whatever it is they say. And it's like, no, I love my job. I love my job. Now, some days I don't love my job. It's like when you love your job, you never work a day in your life. Well, that's not true. There are days. Um, but that's just it. I do love what I do. And so even if I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and I am not a morning person, um, and get up and just my morning doesn't go well, I get to work and I help that first person. And that goes a long way to changing my attitude and changing my mood. I can wake up just absolutely grumpy from an awful night's sleep, and I go in and I do that thing that I love, and that person is happy that I helped them. It just really can turn your day around. And so it's like, if you are passionate about what you do, if you love what you do, it shows, and people are interested, and people want to talk, people want to talk to you, and they want to know more. And it's like, we have customers who come in, they come in to buy stuff, but sometimes they come in just to pick our brain. It's helpful when they buy stuff, because then they pay for picking our brain. But it's like, no, we actively want to help. That's why we're there. We want to help. And so we love it. And so what Alan's example is, he didn't have a good first experience because he focused on the negative. And then on the second, the next day, he decided to focus on the positive and had a much better experience. He had a better time. He was much more relaxed, and his audience had a much better time, because at the end of the day, they wanted more information. And it really, it does come down to choice. I've been talking about that because I've moved on to another book. Because like I said, it's April. And sometimes the only thing we have is the only choice we have is how we feel about things. And when we can make that choice, that's the beginning of the change. That is the beginning of the change. We can choose to look at all of the negatives and just pile those up and make ourselves miserable. Or we can look at the positives. We can look at the good. I mean, Emma's advice is look for the good and praise it, right? So we look for the good, and they start to pile up, and then we feel better. So it's like, when things are just really, off the rails, that's the advice. Look for the good. Look for the positives. And go from there. And just because the only thing that changes, where change begins, is with your own attitude. And honestly, where your attention goes, where your focus is where your power goes. So when you tell the universe how much you hate this, and the universe goes, oh, there's a lot of energy there, obviously this person wants more of this. Okay? So look for the good. And the cool thing is what you do is you start with the good that you can see. You start with the good that you believe in. And you work up from there. It's like, start with the real, start with the concrete, start with what's in the material realm and is good and that you can believe in. Okay? You are just a clingy little sand burr, aren't you? Okay. Not sure what this is about. She was under the blanket until I got up to come in here and do this. I was going to say, I wanted to double check and make sure that, one, I did her justice, Rainbow Johnson justice. And two, I wanted to glance and see if I had a good... Well, her affirmation down at the bottom is, today I choose to focus entirely on the positive. I expect only positive things to happen, and I keep my thoughts turned towards the positive ideas. And I think that is the mission. The mission is to not let the negative pull our focus away, to focus on the positive. That. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to focus on the positive. And that is how we deal with everything else. Right? Are we going to focus on the positive? I'm positive there are very sharp claws digging into my shoulder. Okay, so that's the mission, should we choose to accept it. Now, from there, I'm going to remind you that to do the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself. And believe it or not, focusing on the good, focusing on the positive is absolutely loving, kind, and compassionate for yourself, especially when things are messy. You know, you got to look for the good when things are messy. That's where you see the opportunities. When you focus on the good, when you look for the positive, focus on the good, that's where you see the opportunities. It's extra important when you are, you know, when life is a chaotic mess, because it gets that way occasionally. It happens. So we want to focus on the positive, put our energy there, and that will help us look for the opportunities. So when I say loving, kind, and compassionate, what I mean is, one, practice on yourself. You deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. Two, you are your own best test subject. So, you know, take that deep breath before you speak. Take the nap. Take the walk. I mean, I know that if I don't get enough sleep, I'm grumpy. And sometimes the best thing you can do is turn yourself off and turn it back on again. Nap. Or go for a walk. Exercise really does go a long way to stimulating serotonin, which is a feel-good hormone. So practice on yourself. Now, I'm also going to remind you, and this is going to hit a bit differently because things happened in December, that your life is a special occasion. So while I talk about practicing love, kindness, and compassion on yourself, I'm also going to remind you that one of the things that you can do is to eat. It's self-care. It is straight up self-care. But it's also about making room for joy. It is about making room for joy. Your life is a special occasion. Make room for joy. Eat dessert first. Don't save the good stuff. Wear the nice clothes. Eat the good food. Do things that are fun. Make room in your life for joy. You deserve joy. It is a quality of God. You absolutely deserve it. So that's part of it. So, all right. This one's going to stick out like a sore thumb because different. But different is good. Different is good. All right. I'm all spiritual practice. Do so. Oh, the other things I like to remind you: do something to engage your mind and your body today, whatever that looks like to you. Drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. Your brain works better when you're hydrated. Get early in your day, bright light. I talk about it because it's science. Circadian rhythms it's about a hormone. It's about a natural hormone balance. That early in your day, bright light, it's stimulate, especially when you get it on your face. Will stimulate your hormones. You'll have more energy during the day. You'll sleep better at night. So it is science. You can look it up. Right, baby girl? She's very distracting, and I'm sleeping. So get that early in your day, bright light. Okay. And if you get up before the sun does, artificial light counts. And then my Ernest Holmes quote: open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It is all around us all the time. Because we're all made from the same stuff. We are all made from God's stuff. Okay? But more important than that, it's recognizing that heaven is a state of mind, a state of consciousness. That is what the reading is about today. Do you choose to focus on the negative and watch things get worse, or do you choose to focus on the positive and watch things get better? When you focus on the positive, you see opportunities. When you focus on the negative, you see obstacles. Heaven's a state of mind. Once you learn to create it for yourself, it's a state of grace, because nobody can take it away from you once you learn to create it for yourself. And if we want to create a world that works for everybody, which is the Science of Mind motto, that's how we do it. We each learn to make heaven on earth for ourselves, and then we hold our light up so that other people can learn to do do it for themselves. And we fight for justice. And we fight to make sure that everybody's basic needs are met. Right? Because what we want for ourselves, we have to want for absolutely everybody in the world. I want everybody in the world's basic needs to be met. Even the people I don't like. Because I'm human. Yeah. All right. Sugar. We ready to wrap this up? What I'm going to do here is remind you the social media. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we're on. I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. The whole point of me doing this was because I was missing a video on TikTok or for YouTube. TikTok. One of these days I'm going to get a TikTok, but I don't know when. So, I just lost my train of thought. If you want to know what's going on with the center, email info@creativelife.org. I need a good night's sleep is what I need. The website is creativelife.org as well. So info@creativelife.org will get you on the constant contact, and those hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it will take you right to the information you want or to the information to the person that can help you get it. So take advantage of all of that. There's all kinds of good stuff on our YouTubes. Mine's the Running Rev Ryan, like I said, Creative Life Spiritual Center. Okay. I guess I'm at the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanting day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a do something you didn't expect day, a try something new day, a look at the positive day, turn away from the negative day, a find the opportunity day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and well represented. You are a divine spark, a brilliant light. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. You are a godling. Know who you are. All right? So now I'm off to upload a couple more videos and then get a good night's sleep. So take care of yourself. Reverend David is on Facebook Live around 5 p.m. I'm on the Facebook page around 9:15. So take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.